Good morning, everyone. Once again, this is Black Forest coming to you with another market analysis video. This morning, we're going to be looking at the USDCHF. But before we get started to break down this currency pair, we have to state that this is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice. But we all know why you guys are here. You guys are here to find good, credible Forex content that can help improve your ability as a trader and to help put a little bit of extra money in your pocket, okay? With that being said, let's go ahead and get started to break down this Forex pair, right? Now, before we get started to break down this Forex pair, the technical analysis, we're going to talk about what is happening with the fundamentals, which basically what is happening with each respective currency, okay? First, we're going to do is talk about the CHF. Now, the CHF remains still one of our weaker currencies. The reason why the CHF remains one of our weaker currencies is because all the entirety of Europe is practically just one is practically literally about to hop over the edge and be in a full-blown recession. And this recession is going to be brought about in inflation, high gas prices, and the high gas prices and inflation was further catalyzed by the majority of European nations that consist of NATO banning Russian oil, Russian energy, and Russian goods. Okay, which they thought was going to have a negative effect on Russia, but these sanctions kind of backfired and it started to hurt their economy because I guess they must have forgot when they put these sanctions in place that we get a lot of our gas and get a lot of our energy and a lot of our natural resources to be able to make consumer goods from Russia. Okay. So because of this, and then also there's a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt surrounding the entire European economy, because even though Russia and Ukraine are having some positive peace talks happening right now, they are still actively have soldiers fighting in the street. So there is still an active conflict on the European continent, and this active conflict is bringing a lot of uncertainty to the entire European economy as a whole. And the Swiss franc is one of the major three European currencies outside of the euro and outside of the British pound. Okay, so until we can see some outright resolution between the conflict of Russia and Ukraine, and then we can see some positive things happen with the entire European continent in the way of combating inflation and trying to get the consumer prices down for their citizens and trying to get gas prices down for their citizens. The entirety of the continent of Europe is actually a close step closer to recession more so than the United States. Okay, so this is why our CHF still remains one of our weaker currencies heading into this trading week. Now, with the USD, it's somewhat a little bit of the opposite. Okay, the American government and the Fed has started to take a very, very, very active, aggressive role against inflation. They did increase the interest rate from 25 to 50% and put other different economic policies and measures in place to try to curb and fight inflation. Okay. And they're also discussing a lot more economic policies and measures to fight inflation. And just them talking about it is enough people to start gaining more confidence in the USD, and which is in turn turning into the USD becoming more strength. Now, this may change once the action plans of the talk start to come into effect. But for right now, what they're currently doing, what they're currently discussing, is causing the USD to become much stronger than what it was in the previous trading weeks. Okay. So, but there's also twofold to that. If these economic policies and measures that they put in place do not start to combat inflation aggressively and expeditiously, then we're going to be in a situation where FUD will start to come back and surround the USD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and all the recent strength that is gained since this opening of the market for this trading week. And since that strength will start to dissipate and it will actually start to become much weaker than it was over the last several trading weeks. Okay, so we're going to have to see how these economic policies, measures, and different interventions that they're going to do is going to actually help with the USD. But for right now, with this wave starting out, the USD is looking like one of our stronger currencies heading into this trading week. Okay. And now that we got all that out of the way, let us discuss what's happening on the charts. All right, so we were ranging for some time for literally about a good, let's see, let's go to the day. We were ranging literally for about, let's look at more recent. For the, really, we were ranging since last year, September, where we had little breaks in the range in the upper extreme and lower extreme. This is the upper extreme right here. This is the lower extreme. So we were ranging September from the upper extreme and lower extreme. And then eventually we did have a break up out of this. But when this broke, this break was more consistent with the CHF becoming much, much weaker than the USD as opposed to the USD having any type of strength. Okay. Then once we had this break, we're having some retracement down. And as we said in our videos last week around Thursday and Friday concerning, excuse me, by either Wednesday or Thursday concerning the CHF, we dropped down to as low as this area here, just as we predicted before price started to go back up. Okay. Now we're in a situation where we're going to start continuing looking like we're going to go towards our long position because we had a very aggressive break up, a very spotty way down. And as you can see, let's go to another time frame so you can see is that as we started to go down, channel started to form, and as the channel started to form, when a channel starts to form, that means that this current position is dying out and it's about to start going back in the fundamental position, which is the long position. Okay, so being that we've seen that channel come in now, the shorts, all the sellers are dying out, and now the buyers are now picking up steam because then we also hit an area price picked up from last time. Okay, and being that we do have a situation where one of the currencies is stronger than the other, and the USD is on the left hand side, which is the strong currency, and the CHF is on the right hand side, which is the weak currency, we will start to see a pickup in price. But we could retrace far as down as here before we do continue to go up. But we should be looking for a long position. Okay. Now, like I said, we could continue to drop as far as this area here or even this area here, because that's all going to be about how the USD is solidifying its newfound strength. But once that strength is solidified, and if that strength gets solidified, we're going to be continuing towards the long position. Okay. So as we said, we may get down to this area here or even here before we send to go up, or we may range out in this area here, creeping ever so slightly down just before we start to go back up. But being that we had this very aggressive move came up, this move coming down was not as strong, as people would like to see with price turnover. And plus this right here is nothing but a channel to give you more of a clear vision on that. You can see that here was that we were going down, and as soon as we started going down, we started channeling out. So channel shows you that moves are dying out, so sellers are dying out, and now we're starting to pick up steam to head towards the long position. Okay. So this looks like this is going to be going for the long position, at least for these next few trading sessions. If anything comes out differently about the fundamentals, then we may see price turnover, in which we do start to roll over back into the range area. But as long as fundamentals stay the same, we may drop to right here or even as far as right here before we continue to go up. Or we could range out in this position here before we continue to go up. But it's more promising looking like a long position than a short position, at least for this opening of this trading week and going into the beginning of this trading week. Okay. I hope that information was helpful for you guys. Happy trading.